So once again, we are covering TNA on the channel once again, going hopefully from Slammiversary. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a permanent thing. Once again, I'm trying Slammiversary, like I explained in the video a few months ago when I talked about not covering TNA on the channel anymore. I'm trying out Slammiversary. I'm going to cover it if I feel like it's an alright show and things seem to be going okay for TNA, which behind the scenes we know they're kind of not. Then I'll just carry on covering. I'll cover Lockdown and whatever, Bound for Glory and all that going into the end of the year and all that kind of stuff. If I get the same feeling I did after watching the last pay-per-view that I covered, I can't remember what it was, I think it was Sacrifice, then I might end up not covering it again. I don't know. I really, it kind of depends on how this weekend goes as far as Slammiversary is. But as for now, we are doing some predictions, the 4th prediction video in a row on the channel, and then I get a bit of a reprieve because the 2 top 10 videos over the weekend are already up and ready to just upload whenever. So yes, we'll get into the predictions for Slammiversary and see kind of where my head's at, considering that I kind of know what's going on through keeping up with social media, but I haven't been watching Impact. So yeah, I might end up getting a lot of these wrong, but you know, that's the fun of predictions, I guess. Starting off with the Countdown show, in a match that I didn't feel like should be on the Countdown show. I feel like this would be very good for just the main card itself if you had 3 of the best knockouts on the division going up against each other in Myra Sade, Elena Black and Indy Hartwell. If I had to, as in, this is going to be pure guess just because it's on the pre-show, but I would guess that Indy Hartwell will probably get the win here. I feel like she is long overdue not only opportunities at the Knockouts Championship, but probably should be Knockouts Champion at this point. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. All 3 women have the potential of being, this whole match could be a feud for the Knockouts Championship, really. I feel like it would be more of an intriguing match than the match we actually have for the Knockouts Championship, in my opinion. But yeah, for me, I want to go with Indy Hartwell to get the win here in what should be a pretty decent pre-show match. First one on the main card, we have the return of Ultimate X, a really fun match that TNA do. It's very unique to TNA, where we have Cedric Alexander defending the X Division Championship against Leon Slater, Frankie Kazarian, Mr. Elegance, Fabian Eichner, Casey Navarro, and Amazing Red, the returning Amazing Red. And yeah, for me, I would love to see Leon Slater get the title back, but I assume due to contract stuff that he lost the title, let alone won't win this match. I would like to see Fabian Eichner become X Division Champion. I feel like he's very good in the ring, so people have very quickly forgotten how good he is because of him essentially disappearing for a bit, and he wasn't really showcased as well in WWE, especially in the latter parts of his WWE career. Casey Navarro is a great talent, and I feel like he's probably one of the more underrated talents on TNA's roster. But I think overall, I would guess, and my prediction would be, that Cedric Alexander is probably going to retain here. Having Amazing Red back will be cool. I don't know whether that's a one-off or whether that is something they're going to have more consistently. But obviously, he's a TNA legend in the X Division. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun match. Of course it is. I mean, it's X Division. But yeah, I've got Cedric Alexander to retain the championship here. After that, we have the Elegance brand, so M and Heather Elegant, or by Elegance, are defending the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Ali and Rosemary, the Bunny and the Demon. And yeah, I've got Rosemary and Ali to win the tag team titles here. They've had a lot of momentum, there's a lot of fun storyline stuff going on TNA from what I can tell from social media. And I feel like the whole return of Ali has been quite well done, and I feel like that's going to end with them winning the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships in a match that I can't imagine will be too spectacular. But the Elegance brand, they do kind of their character stuff really, really well. So I'm sure it'd be kind of a good contrast of kind of the beauty of the Elegance brand and the darkness of Rosemary and Ali. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be a really fun match as far as character work goes. Probably not great within wrestling, but yeah, I do have Ali and Rosemary picking up the Knockouts Tag Team Championships here. After that, we have Eric Young taking on Ricky Souza, and yeah, I mean, this one's a very easy prediction for me. Ricky Souza should absolutely be getting the win here. If anything, yeah, I think giving the win to Eric Young would kind of be a step backwards, not only for Ricky Souza's career, but just a case of, with Eric Young being such a big legend and being kind of the veteran, well, not even kind of the veteran, he is definitely the veteran here. He should be putting the younger guy over. So I think unless they're going to progress this feud further, Ricky Souza should be absolutely getting the win on a big show like Slammiversary. Following that, we have Mustafa Ali defending the International Championship in an open challenge, of which, yeah, this is really tough for someone who's not really keeping up with the roster that much. But looking through the roster page, you could maybe have the hometown man for a bit of a laugh answer the challenge. I feel like would be fine, but I feel like Mustafa Ali should be having a bigger and better match on the pay-per-view. Maybe Rich Swann could answer it after he's not had anything going on at Slammiversary. Maybe you have Trey Miguel, but then Trey Miguel and Mustafa Ali have already feuded for the International Championship. And then if they get someone who's not even in TNA, then I've got absolutely no idea who it could be. Maybe they get someone from NXT to come in and do it. But again, it's like, who would you have do it? I mean, yeah, I don't really know. Or maybe they have a past legend come and answer the thing, which I've got no idea. But my two predictions here, as far as the Open Challenge goes, the person answering the challenge, I'm going to say, will be Trey Miguel. Just a very safe prediction to make, but, you know, I think those two could have an absolutely fantastic match. But I think Mustafa Ali retains the championship no matter who answers the Open Challenge here, in my opinion. So, yeah, I feel like it would be a great match. Mustafa Ali is one of those wrestlers who can have like good matches with everybody. There's no such thing as a bad Mustafa Ali match, which is really cool. It's probably going to be one of the better matches of the night, I would assume. But unless it's like a legend that can't really do much. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a pretty decent match, but Mustafa Ali will retain the International Championship. Following that, we have probably the big grudge match of the pay-per-view, which is Moose taking on Eddie Edwards in a no-surrender match. What is a no-surrender match? It's essentially just another way to say no disqualification, no rules, street fight, hardcore match, etc. You know what I mean? It's a wrestling trope done all over the wrestling world. But who wins? I think Moose wins. I feel like it's just, with it being one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year, you give the babyface a good pay-per-view win, and yeah, maybe they go on and they feud after this. It wouldn't surprise me if they do. It wouldn't surprise me if JDC did come to some kind of turn as well, and like this whole thing gets messed up. But yeah, for me, it just makes the most sense. When I saw the match, I kind of leant more towards Moose, so I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be really cool if they kind of lean really into the extreme stuff there. But then, you know, I don't know how extreme they're going to get with the ladder match being involved as well on the pay-per-view. But I feel like it's going to be a pretty decent match. Eddie Edwards and Moose will probably have, well, they do have good chemistry together because they've worked together for so long. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be a decent match, but I'm going to go with Moose to get the win here. After that, we have Lei Ying Lee defending the Knockout Championship against Zaya Brookside in a match that has a really good story. The typical friend betraying another friend because of the championship kind of trope. We've seen it 1,010,000 times, but it just doesn't feel like a big Knockouts Championship match. As I said, the pre-show match feels like it would be better off as the Knockouts Championship match. But as what it is, the Ying Lee has been a really good Knockouts champion throughout her couple of reigns. We'll just ignore Ariana Grace's reign in the middle of that. But do I think Zaya Brookside walks out with the championship? Yeah, I think she does actually. And it's basically because Lei Ying Lee has feuded with most of the other women on the Knockouts, in the Knockouts division for the championship. And she had it for quite a long time. First time round, obviously, then Ariana Grace absolutely shot on the championship. But it just feels like we need something new with the championship. Zaya Brookside is very young, and I feel like would make a good knockout champion, as there is a fair few babyfaces on the roster that she can feud with for the championship, as well as having a rematch against Lei Ying Lee. She can feud with Indy Hartwell, she can feud with Mara Sade. There's many others on the roster that she can feud with, where it feels like the knockout division is mostly babyfaces with a few heels. So yeah, it makes sense that a heel comes out of Slammiversary as champion and then can feud with babyfaces all the way until Bound for Glory. Next, in a 4-way tag team ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships, the System will defend it against the Broken Hardys, the Righteous, and the Great Hands, or the Good Hands. Yeah, the Great Hands. As I said, in a ladder match, which I think is going to be a really fun match. Ladder matches are always really good when it comes to tag team wrestling. But for me, there's only really one thing I don't want here, which is the Hardys winning. And I know they've gone broken again, and it's all very fun. They should not be getting those titles back. Let the System keep them. I think Bear Bronson has been doing really well since he joined TNA. I feel like having him as tag team champion would work really well with Brian Myers. The Righteous could steal a win here and then continue feuding with the Hardys for the titles, but then as long as they keep beating the Hardys, that's all that matters. The Great Hands got added literally last night as a last minute addition. I don't think they're getting the win here, so I'm going to go with the Righteous to get the win and to kind of steal it last minute and kind of cost. You feel like the Hardys are about to win, everyone's kind of going crazy, and then the Righteous come in and absolutely steal it from under them. And then yes, I feel like the Righteous are a really unique tag team, so have them as champions could like massively benefit TNA with just having that even more unique kind of style that TNA loves so much. And now we have what seems like more of a bit of a silly match, to be fair, but we have AJ Francis versus Elijah, and if Elijah loses, then Francis will own his name, likeness, and music catalogue. Yeah, this has Elijah winning written all over it. It just makes him essentially the babyface gets all of his stuff back. We've seen it multiple times when it comes to like owning people. You know, we see it with JBL and Shawn Michaels back in the early 2010s, late 2000s when JBL owned Shawn Michaels. Yeah, we've seen this loads of times, and yeah, for me, very, very simple here. I feel like the match isn't going to be great. I don't really rate Elijah in the ring and never have done. AJ Francis can be alright depending, but he's better against smaller, more agile, high flyer opponents. So yeah, my hopes aren't massively high with this one, but I'm going to go with Elijah to get the win just because he has the most to lose here, therefore he'll get the win. Finally, in the main event, Nick Nemeth will be cashing in his Call Your Shot Gauntlet World Championship match as he takes on Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. And yeah, for me, this is very simple again. I mean, unless Mike Santana is leaving TNA, which... if Nick Nemeth wins here, you have to believe that Mike Santana is 1 foot out the door and 1 foot into NXT. But I don't know. I can't imagine giving the title back to Nick Nemeth would be good for TNA when you want to be leaving the older generation behind and building the new generation, which surrounds right now around Mike Santana and TNA. Now, yeah, you could have Mike Santana quite easily lose the title on an Impact. Maybe they do it at the next pay-per-view, which I believe is Lockdown, which I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, I mean, he's on the poster for Lockdown, so I assume he's still around at that point. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Mike Santana to get the win and retain his championship here. But I cannot stress enough how much he needs to win this match, because giving the title back to Nick Nemeth, I think, will be a massive step back and would actually frustrate me a little bit. Whereas you put the title on Mike Santana, you have someone new but on the same, like, essentially just like the same age, essentially, of Mike Santana. You have, I don't know, you can have multiple people on the roster, like people that, how do I put this, like, better than how I'm trying to do it. Essentially, if they're not really old, have them challenge Mike Santana for the title and then have him win. Personally, you could have done Steve Macklin versus Mike Santana here and then had Steve Macklin win the match and things probably would have been better off. But again, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet was won by an old guy, well, 2 old guys essentially. So was Feast or Fired. So they put themselves in a situation where the World Championship is going to be surrounded, at least the championship scene, it's going to be surrounded by guys who are just older and don't need to be winning a World Championship right now. So yeah, as I said, I think there's a massive risk of Nick Nemeth winning the title here. I really hope he doesn't. I hope Santana gets 1 more month with the belt before he essentially loses it to go to NXT, I assume. And then, yeah, we see where he goes from there. But my prediction here is Mike Santana retains the championship. Those are my predictions for TNA Slammiversary 2026. Do comment down below your predictions, what you think of the show, and just anything in general, how you're enjoying TNA right now, or if there's... Obviously, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes with Tommy Dreamer, Sami Callihan, Tessa Blanchard, Steve Macklin, all these other people who are leaving, where it feels like even before this show begins, it's going to be tarnished by stuff that's going on behind the scenes, which isn't great, but kind of is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I'm going in with an open mind. I want to go in and enjoy the show. I'm hoping to continue covering TNA forever on the channel, hopefully. But yeah, we'll see how things play out. But yeah, I'm a bit worried the card isn't as massively good as I thought it was going to be when it came to like the second biggest show of the year. This is essentially their SummerSlam. But yeah, we see how it goes. As I said, do comment below your kind of thoughts and stuff. And yeah, there's plenty of stuff on the channel already. As I said, this is the 4th day in a row I've been uploading predictions. So on the channel already is my predictions for Night of Champions, Great American Bash, and Forbidden Door, so go and check those ones out. 2 of them will be linked at the end of this video. And yeah, I mean, obviously do subscribe, as all these shows will be getting reviews as well throughout next week. As well as this weekend, I'm doing my top 10 matches from Night / Clash of Champions, and my top 10 matches from Forbidden Door as well on Saturday and Sunday, so do look out for those. And I'll thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.